Lord Pickles, you've been involved in politics for a very long time. In your experience, how has it changed in terms of safety for yourselves when you're out, you're engaging with the public? Have you noticed a change over the passage of time?
Well, David and I were the same age, so we'll have had a similar kind of experience. Yes, I think it is slightly more risky in the last sort of 20 years than the previous 20 years, but not necessarily as risky as it was, say, 100 years ago, where you were at risk of physical attack quite often in the late Victorian period. So I think we are in danger of exaggerating the threats that MPs are under, but it's something that you do bear in mind, and no one goes into public life to be murdered, but there has to be assumption that MPs are at risk, as indeed teachers are at risk, doctors, nurses are at risk, anyone that's in regular contact with a wide selection of the British public.
Eric Pickles, we often miss that long view, don't we? We can just be obsessed with the idea that our age is as bad as any that's ever been, worse, in fact. And I was reading a book about William Cobbett recently, and some of the violence around politics, 250 years ago was astonishing. People were routinely beaten for their political views. There was a prime minister, wasn't there, killed 200 years ago.
Yes, personal, but that was under personal debt.
Yeah, none of this excuses violence towards our elected representatives.
No, it doesn't. And obviously there is a kind of a personal risk around surgeries, and the police regularly offer advice to members of Parliament. But David made a thing about being very open about people could just turn up to his surgeries, and it was a first come first served basis. It was a man. I mean, the guy really loved Southend. I mean, you didn't need to go to the surgery to see him. You could see him in shops. You could see him in restaurants. You could see him at community events. He was somebody that revelled in. I once had a discussion with it was a Canadian, a politician, about contact with the electorate, and he said, "But basically, if you don't like the folks, you shouldn't be in this business." And David really liked the folks. Terrifically proud of Southend and determined to make a difference. And he was a very canny, very clever operator inside the House of Commons. He often got his way through charm and persistence.
And what do you think, Lord Pickles, to conversations around whether or not MPs should be afforded security when they're out and about in their public duties?
No. I can take you to places in the world where a member of the public would stand absolutely no chance of meeting their local representative. They're surrounded by flunkies, they're surrounded by security, they have the expensive cars, they move in a lifestyle that never meets. That isn't democracy. The very nature of what we do means that we have to be involved with the population. Doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't take elementary precautions, and I'm sure that people will look very carefully at the way in which surgeries are conducted. I used to operate a triage system before people get to see me. Often you could sort things out without them needing to come and see me, but if they did, I always wanted an address, I always wanted contact details, I always wanted to know why they wanted to see us.
Yeah, I guess there is there's a fine line to blend, isn't there, as the point you're making, which is about being essentially what you're supposed to be, which is accessible to your people, while simultaneously trying to ensure that you yourself are safe as well.
Yes, but having said that, I had a different approach, David. It's my honest, genuine view. And I'm not saying this because he's dead. I think he was a better constituency MP than I was, because he was completely committed to total immersion within his community. And frankly, if you think about it, it should be on the basis: I want to see my MP. Well, here he is, or she is. Beg your pardon.
Lord Pickles, I mean, you know, as somebody who cut his teeth in politics in Bradford, who then sort of was transplanted down to Essex, I mean, is there a political culture there which, you know, is distinctive, that you saw absolutely exemplified in Sir David Amess?
Yes, I mean, there's nothing quite like Bradford politics or Northern politics. It is a very muscular politics, and you tend to be slightly distrustful. But I think, let's just give you an example of what he was like. I came down from Bradford to Essex. He was one of the first MPs that approached me, gave me advice about the local community, gave some ideas about campaigning. He was the PPS of Michael Patilla, so he dragged Patilla down to help me. There was nothing in it for him. We were the other side of the constituency. He just wanted to help me. Just wanted to make me feel at home. He wanted me to prosper and to thrive. And that's a kind of devotion that he brought to his constituents. If you went to see David with a problem, he felt it deeply. He wanted to sort it out. It was, in a way, he shared your problem. And he's going to be very, very missed in Southend and in the county as a whole. And indeed, of course, within Parliament.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.